Welcome to today's stream. This stream will be quite a bit different than my usual streams, mainly in that I'll be playing on my main account and not on my alt account, and I'll be going ahead and actually doing a lot of the stuff that generally needs to be done on, since I've been not really playing on the account for close to probably around 3 months now. So yeah, I have a few quests I do need to work on. Mainly it is going to be Blue Bunny's quest here, but there are a few other things that I do need to do that we'll get to after we finish this quest. First up though, I do need to go ahead and really quickly finish up Blaze's quest, specifically just the last 2 quests since I've already gone ahead and done up to this point. Hello! Yeah, I'm trying out streaming at a different time, so this stream's a little bit later than what I usually do. Still probably not the best for most time zones, but should be a little bit different of a time for people that generally can't make it out to my stream. Depending on how it goes, I might add it permanently to my schedule, but we'll see. But yeah, playing on my main account for the first time in a while will be a little bit interesting. The first thing though, we are just going really quickly to Blaze's quest, and then we'll move on to actually progressing through the stuff that I wanted to do. But yeah, because I've been a developer, I haven't really been playing Ghost Sim as much. Generally, before I became a developer, I would at least do some stuff regularly off stream for my account, like you know, quests or whatever. But yeah, since I became a developer, I've been a little bit more busy with other stuff. And sometimes when you're busy with like developing, you don't want to, once you get done developing, go ahead and swap over to play in the game or whatever. You get bored of it after a little bit. But yeah, I'm expecting a lot of the people who regularly show up to these streams aren't going to be able to make it today, since this is, generally speaking, around the time I end my streams previously. So I'm expecting either new faces or no one at all during this stream. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, a lot of the people that regularly make it out that are in like the European time zones, I am so sorry. You guys are probably going to miss most of it. Fortunately, VOD's always available on YouTube. You can always go watch back, but I know it's not quite the same thing watching the live stream back. I don't expect people to ever watch live streams back. It's kind of boring after the first, like, you know, 5 seconds. Yeah, that's about what I'm expecting for most of the people who generally show up. Is only going to be a brief time period, if any. But yeah, the main goal is going to be to go ahead and get Blue Bunny done. Once I'm done with Blue Bunny, as you guys can probably tell from the profile picture, my next stop will be grabbing these unlockables. I don't know how long Bitwing should take. Remnant Ruler probably won't take too long since I have a bit of Remnant Tycoons. But we'll see. But yeah, we'll grab both those 2, and then we'll also go ahead and grab anything else that I might have forgotten on this count. I have no idea what I need to do on this. So yeah, we'll be grabbing this quest. We'll then be grabbing Bitwing and Remnant Ruler, and then once we have all of those, then I'll go ahead and see about actually grinding some other stuff. Either grinding for classifieds like a few more sandstorms, or maybe upgrading finally to some sunspots, because honestly, my inventory is kind of wrecked from not grinding. Alright, let's go really quickly, just make sure that our auto-delete commons is off. Or on, and then really quickly go get the godly from here. There you go. Auto clicker open. Just finished a 3-hour and 4-minute. Ow, yeah, yeah, you're definitely going pretty slow. That is coming from a person. I think that's fastest time is like 3:30 or whatever. Yeah, it's I'm pretty bad in terms of my own rebirth time, so I can't really judge. When did I last grind on my main? I think, legitimately speaking, that would have been like last year, when I was doing rebirths. I think that was what, September of last year, before Halloween event started. Also, let's just toggle this off because no one wants that. But yeah. Oh, those are the auto unbox buttons. You don't buy this because it was worse than worthless, because every time you'd buy something, you'd then end up accidentally clicking purchase for crate keys. But yeah, now that you can disable it, I bought it just to test to make sure that disabling worked. We will go ahead and disable it. It is no longer worse than worthless anymore, so that's good. It is now just worthless, which is a nice upgrade for it. But yeah, now that we are done with that, we'll go ahead and start into Blue Bunny's quest. Yeah, it's actually one of the most obnoxious thing is that once you get to that point with like Remnant King's pet, and then also the Divine Rewards, there's literally no pets better than that until you hit like Cosmic Wing or Sandstorm or whatever. And like looking at the stats, like there's really no reason to go for Cosmic Wing because it's 3 times the price to go to a Sandstorm for 3 times the stats. So you might as well just go straight to a Sandstorm. So it literally goes Divines, which are fairly, they're hard to grind, but you know, people can know how to get them, up to like Classifieds, and it's just such an obnoxious, like there's no middle ground to go in between. So yeah, it is a joke and a half sometimes. But yeah, yes, right now I'm trying a different streams time. Generally this is when I end my streams, so I'm not expecting too many people to actually show up that normally show up. But it's kind of giving an option for people that are like US time zones to actually be able to make it to these streams. All right, we will need to unlock this. This will require a few items to go ahead and do. Yeah, I know with Ghost Similar, a lot of people end up leaving the game for a while, and I understand. There's a lot of boring things in the game that's just like kind of being worked on, but like there's so many things where it's just like super boring to go grind for rebirths or boring to grind for gems, that it just bores people out really quickly. I'm glad that you guys find my videos informational and helpful. I know I really haven't done any informational videos in like over 2 years now, which is kind of bad. I want to get back into the habit of actually making some of those useful videos, because those are really what works on YouTube. Like literally every single month, my best performing video is those stuff that I made 2 or 3 years ago, where it's like how to get classifieds, how to grind gum, how to all those videos. As stupid as it seems to the people who actually play the game regularly, those are really what performs well, because not everyone knows how to do that. Most players don't. But yeah. No, I'm playing in a public server right now because I'm being lazy and not clicking the 2 extra buttons to go into a private server. I might switch over at some point, but for the most part, I don't really mind running in public, especially when you're in Remnant Zone where there's like very few other people. Like, okay, I say very few other people. Relatively few other people. You're generally able to find a pretty good server for it. But yeah. But yeah, it definitely adding the ability to disable the auto unbox perk is something that's been heavily requested for a long time, because like as I said before, it was worse than worthless before, so now it's just worthless. At some point I do plan on buffing it or reworking the unbox system. I've said this before, so that, you know, it's on par with auto clicking at least, so it's more or less just an ease of use rather than the garbage comparatively. But yeah, that'll take some time. I don't expect that to happen anywhere within the next few months, year. Yeah, so some stuff takes a while. But yeah. Yeah, okay, this server has a lot more than what I'm expecting. Sometimes when I go to Remnant Zone, it is literally me and like 2 other people. It is surprising how dead the servers can be sometimes. Actually, the funny thing now is like, it used to be that you'd join servers and you'd see the same 3 names over and over again because there was only the same people playing. I feel like now with Ghost Simulator, it's just so many random people that you see, which is maybe not a good thing, but it's something I'm not used to, seeing random new names like this. It wouldn't actually be too hard, but I don't want to do it. There's a reason why it's called Auto Shield Blast, or it was a design decision by Royal when the thing was first added, and I'm not going to be fixing it and spending time. Okay, we might need to go swap to a private server if every single area we need to grind for items is already having people grind them. Actually, let me take a quick check. How many items do we need? I'll need a lot of items, don't I? Yeah, okay, we're going to hop over into a private server. There's no reason to, no real reason to be competing with other people for it. Yeah, I got hired as a developer in January. It's one of those things where, honestly, as a YouTuber, I don't care really. But yeah, it is definitely interesting. I think one of the worst things about being a developer is when I see an error, instead of it being like, oh yeah, guys, don't buy the auto unbox. It's worse than worthless. It's a bad purchase. And telling people how to delete it. Instead of doing that, I have, as a developer, it's more of like, I have to go ahead and be like, okay, the auto unbox Game Pass will get buffed in the future. Or if I find like a bug, like, oh, what was a good one? If I find a bug, instead of being like, hey guys, this is a bug, don't do this. I have to be like, okay, guys, this is a bug. I will patch it, because I can't complain about stuff because it's me fixing it, which makes it a lot weirder when you're like, okay, puzzles, yes. I can't be like, okay, puzzles are stupid. They are stupid. But it's one of those things that I just need to find time to fix it. So I can't complain about stuff as much. It's, you know, just the small things like that. But yeah, no, I do definitely enjoy programming for Ghost Simulator. It's fairly fun. Alright, back to grinding items. I like the puzzles, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, the puzzles are cool. The problem is you can't figure them out on your own, like, at all. I think the best example of this is, when they first added the, pet puzzle. Like, with where you have to click all the puzzles in the main hub. One of my reactions was, when I was first trying to figure that out, was there's no way you need to keep track of pets that disappear when you click them. With no way to keep track of them out. And what do you know? The actual solution requires you to keep track of every single pet. And along with that, there's more pets than what you think you need. And yeah, it is such a mess of a puzzle. Yeah, I mean, Ghost World's bad too. I mean, there's so many things that you can complain about each puzzle. For the most part, though, most people who do find them and care about solving them will just ask on either search on the wiki or ask other people for them, which kind of breaks the purpose of having them in the first place. But it does mean that they are generally just copy-paste. So that's what those tiny little guys are for? Yeah! Yeah, I don't think anyone would actually I mean, okay. People are able to realize that they can click on them. They just aren't able to realize what it does. They aren't able to realize that it applies to a bigger puzzle. Like, there's pretty much no way to find that, clicking on 5 of those will reveal a, lever in a world that progresses from, the start at Forest up to, I believe it goes up to Volcano, every 5 that you click. Like you don't realize that. Even when testers were figuring it out, actually, I'm fairly sure to this day, like, no other tester really realizes that it's every 5. They all thought it was something like, oh yeah, you click all of these in certain areas, and then it will appear one. It is so unintuitive of a system. But yeah, today I'm kind of curious. Do you guys think I should go grind for like another sandstorm? Or should I, instead of grinding for like sandstorm or whatever, go grind some mega bosses? There's some mega bosses that I kind of actually want to go grind, like maybe Remnant Guardian or Great Guardian. I've been also thinking about starting a regular schedule of grinding the boss both, just to see if I can go ahead and go grind for a Cloud Wave reasonably. So yeah, those are kind of my options once I do get done with Blue Bunny's quest. But yeah. Yeah, no, I do plan on reworking the puzzles. The idea would be to actually provide little hints to where people need to go, or what stuff does, instead of just being like, oh yeah, here's stuff. Good luck. Because there's... Ghost Road's quite literally the worst puzzle. At least in my opinion. The issue being that you can't find it for the first place, and then for the first part of the puzzle, you have no idea what you're working with. Like, even if you're able to find your way into the first part of the puzzle, which you can't because no one checks on that side of the castle, all you're given is a code pad and a phone. There's nothing else in there that will help you figure out what you need to do with that stuff. And so, how do you figure out what you need to use for the code? Where do you find that? You can't. You literally cannot. It's... Because you don't know what's part of the puzzle. It's literally all just gobbledygook. Mess. Sandstorm is a new classified, so it'd just be unboxing classifieds. Most of it would be... About half of it would be spent grinding gems, about half of it would be spent unboxing, and crashing a few thousand times. But yeah. Yeah, no, we're not requiring classifieds for stuff. The funny thing is, oh, actually, no, this is a developer meeting. I can't really talk about developer meetings. Yeah, that's definitely out of bounds. But yeah, no, classifieds aren't required for anything. They never will be. I have no idea why the ones in the Bloxbyte were added to the index when nothing else is in the index. So those got removed. No, I can't. I literally, I'm not going to talk about that. That's definitely a conversation I should not relay anything from. Is that the final zone? Yes, for now, yeah, Remnant Zone, Sandstorm's in the last zone. Remnant Zone's the last zone. Sandstorm specifically takes around 8 to 10 billion gems to get, with Double Luck and Lucky Gum, which pretty much everyone going for a Sandstorm is going to be using a Lucky Gum of some sort, either glitchy or enchanted, depending on their will to grind. But yeah, and then up to Monster Mushy. Monster Mushy takes around 40 billion gems to get, which is a bit more expensive. Yeah, the funny thing is, like, most of the stuff you're missing out is not recent stuff, other than, like, Blue Bunny's quest, and maybe Blaze's quest, but, I mean, Pet Storage, I wouldn't say missing out on Pet Storage NPCs all that much. There is a new permanent magnet ability in Remnant Zone 2 that's kind of helpful. I wish I could remove it now, but I can't, so it stays. Yeah. Gum can now be popped, so if I wanted to, I could disable Gum and then use a different Gum. I'm not going to do that right now because I'm actually, like, grinding using it. But yeah, there's a lot of new features. That's not removing it, that's just making it so that you guys could disable it if you want. Actually, that's kind of funny. You can actually disable your magnet perk. I find this extremely funny because the items will just hover like that, but when you enable it, they actually, like, really quickly just shoot to you if they've been sitting for a while. It's actually really amusing because they actually will gather speed while not while sitting on the ground. They just won't actually come to you. So if you just leave them in one spot for a while, they'll end up just gathering an immense amount of speed. So when you toggle it back on, they just shoot to you at, like, a super high speed. It is amusing. Oh, are we able to unlock? Yes. All right, cool. There we go. All right, now we can actually start into Blue Bunny. I'm not going to go over any of this dialogue. If you guys want to read dialogue, you guys can go read the wiki. Yeah. I read the dialogue when I added it. I'm not reading it again. Yep. Yeah, no, a lot of people. I'm assuming you're talking about when Ghost World was released, or maybe it was Backdoor. I do know that when Ghost World was first added, they were one world, so I don't know whether people at that time considered Ghost World to be a new world, or if they just considered an extension of Main Hub. I can't remember the actual policy on that. And I know I would consider Ghost World the first world, but when it first came out, I don't know what people were calling it. But yeah. Alright, bye, Levi, I think. Yeah, Ghost World. Definitely. Yeah, games updating is always, like, I know Pet Sim 99, I've kind of, right when it came out, I liked to play it because I had a lot of free time. As a dev, I don't have as much free time. I'd have enough to play Pet Simulator 99. But now that I haven't played it for a while, it just gets harder to get into it. Like, I see people talking about it, I'm like, I don't feel like playing it because I'm just so behind on it. So yeah, getting behind in games is always kind of, annoying in a sense. Alright, let's vacuum these ghosts. Yeah, there were definitely some interesting things with them being connected. It was definitely helpful right when the game was first coming out for grinding gems. Because you could sell all the ectoplasm you got in Ghost World in Main Hub, and then convert those to gems. So back when there wasn't a soul converter, that's pretty much what everyone did, which definitely made it a little bit interesting, I think. Having all of the worlds interconnected like that definitely gave options for grinding gems. But as they've grown, it definitely makes more sense to have this separate stuff we have now for both for server load, so you don't have as much stuff going on in a server, because it can get pretty laggy if you have a lot going on. Like, even as it is, you guys can probably tell that Main Hub, Ghost, Remnant World, all get to be pretty laggy on the server. Sometimes, actually looking at developer stats, you can see it pretty clearly. Like, there's a lot of lag in those worlds, and then not as much in, like, some of the other ones. But, yeah. It was a different time, though, back then. As worlds came out slowly, it was helpful to be able to sell for gems, without having to just kind of only get souls while grinding in Ghost World until Soul Converter came out. Yeah, it's one of those things like Pet Sim 99. I'm sure it's a fun game and I could catch up pretty easily. It seems like it is pretty well made like that. But I don't know. Once you fall behind in a game, you fall a little bit behind, and then because you're that little bit behind, you grow a little bit disinterested, and because you're disinterested, you play less, and you fall even further behind. Which is not a good cycle. And then you either have to be reminded of it, or you just give up entirely. I used to play Miner's Haven a decent amount, and I think that same thing happened. I missed like one event or something on that game. I believe going through this here will bring me. No, okay. Let me just go through the actual exit. Where is it going? But yeah, I missed like one thing where I like something simple. I think it was like one event or whatever, and it was like, oh, I kind of want the items from those events, and then because I was missing those items from the event, I'm like, okay, I just won't play for a little bit, and then it updates, and you're like, okay, I have no idea what's going on in the game anymore, and it just didn't feel like playing anymore. But yeah, Miner's Haven is it was a really fun game. I think the issue with it is that it has become to the point where, like, even when it first was created, you kind of needed guides to play the game. You needed to know what stuff did. You couldn't just play the game by looking at the game, which is always an issue. But then they started adding a lot of new interesting stuff, like new rebirth stuff, new a lot of new stuff that was kind of confusing to get and required you to either know the wiki, which is not fun to have to go look at a wiki every 5 seconds you want to play a game, or you'd have to be super knowledgeable about the game for any of it to make sense. And it just became a kind of confusing to actually play because you'd have to go spend half your time on the wiki reading stuff, which is not fun. All right, let's go do 3 bosses really quick. And by really quick, I mean not very quick because we don't have heavy armor, so we're going to get hit by like way too many attacks. Actually, I might swap. I might swap back over to Main Hub, or no, public servers once. Because there is a bit of Ghost Collection, but I'm trying to think if it would be better to stay in a private or go to a public server for some of this. Yeah, that was one of the things I was debating on doing into today's stream, was grabbing some of those perks like the heavy armor, jetpack. But I realized I still kind of want to rebirth a few times. And so I don't want to spend too much time on stuff that will reset when I rebirth. So yeah, I don't think we're actually going to do that this stream. It would have made this quest quite a bit easier, especially the hoverboard and the heavy armor and jetpack, but for the most part, we're just going to chill where we're at. Oh, right now I'm at 26 rebirths. The funny thing is about half of those rebirths are useless in a sense. About 11 of them are main hub Ecto Token Tycoons, which I'm fine with. But yeah, I'm not going to be really using them too much anymore. So, but yeah, the 7 of them are in Remnant Tycoons, which I'm going to be using. So I kind of want to go for 10 more Remnant Tycoons to have 17 of those. But it will take a while for me to actually get to that point. Yeah, the jetpack or the hoverboard is such a clean system. It's something that I don't even I wouldn't want to change in the game. It's so good. No, I think we just use Glitchy Gum for this. The reason I'm selling with X-Gum is because I will be grinding for Remnant Ruler later, so I kind of need the currency. We will X that so that we can go ahead and use a Glitchy Loot Gum for the feathers really quick. But yeah, it's... Yeah, the only thing I have done to it is actually fixed a little bit of issue when you equip it sometimes. Like, occasionally when you equip it, it would sink you into the ground or whatever. So I kind of did some ray tracing, which kind of, it doesn't feel as clean. I feel like, if you're used to jumping every time you equip the hoverboard like I am, it definitely feels weird. Because sometimes it will snap you back to the floor level, which is kind of strange. But, yeah, also, we need to go find Remnant Guardian really quick. I don't believe this first spawn. It is not. But yeah, the way it works is just super clean. As long as you aren't lagging. If you're lagging, then it can become horrendous to play with the hoverboard. I mean, it's just Roblox physics in general, I guess, with the lagging, because, like, even if you're trying to walk with low FPS, you're going to feel it with walking. Oh, yeah, this is where it starts. I am so used to lag at this point that I don't even notice it. Like, I will complain occasionally, but... I'm used to it. That being said, now that I am earning money from actually developing stuff, I'll probably end up actually buying a better PC because, you know, just to see what it is. See what playing Ghost Sim at like a constant 40 FPS is like instead of dropping down to 12 frames per second every few minutes. Yeah, mobile's... Actually, the funny thing about mobile, I think the Roblox mobile app is slightly better optimized in some respects. At least in the sense that when you're playing it, you'll have like all other tabs closed or whatever. So you're... Or at least if you have a good phone. I know I almost have a better phone than I have a laptop at this point. Actually, I think if I did the price comparison, I think the phone would be probably slightly cheaper. But like it would be pretty close. It's kind of bad. But yeah, if you have a crappy phone, it's obviously pretty bad. But it actually plays better on my phone. Like I'd get consistent 60 FPS, just because it is more stuff is optimized when you are playing on a device like a phone or whatever on Roblox side. Yes, I am playing on a laptop right now. That's kind of the only thing I mean, that's all I've had. Forever. I've never really had a desktop computer or whatever with the, you know, computer system. It's always been a laptop. And honestly, it's a pretty good laptop. It's not like a high-end gaming laptop, but it's also not, don't throw me into the void, don't throw me into the void, don't throw me into the void. Am I going to grind all the Remnant Zone questlines? I have already done most of the Remnant Zone questlines. This is pretty much the only questline I haven't done on this account. So we'll be finishing it up. I don't think it's that long of a questline. I think it's like 2 hours. And then we'll go ahead and swap over to some other stuff for the rest of the stream. But yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's good, but it's not good enough for, like, constantly streaming and recording and whatnot, that you'd want to do. Or that some people would want to do. I don't actually care. Okay, there is no boss spawn at the moment. I think... So either we wait for the, Jolly Roger spawn. Yeah, Dark Thunder did a very good job at making the quest pretty unique. Pretty much all of the difficulty is my fault. I am sorry about that. I know some people have complained about the amount of bosses. There wasn't that many originally. I added a lot of those. I feel like it's deserved, I think. Oh, there's already a boss here. I think it's pretty balanced. I played it on my alt account, and it wasn't too bad. With like the worst quest being a currency thing that most people aren't even going to notice being an issue. But yeah, it definitely has a lot of unique stuff that Dark Thunder put into it. Yes, I understand. Yeah, in 10 levels, I do actually, I think next update I have enough time to put into it. Moving some of the drops around for Remnant Zone, making it so it's easier to progress in the second area and harder to progress in the third area, because right now it's kind of a flop difficulty system, which is really annoying for new players. But yeah, it's progressing through Remnant Zone is definitely a lot more difficult than quests are at this point. Backdoor had the same issue. Remnant Zone's a lot less of an issue because you don't have to, it's later in the game, and also one of those things that, not necessarily optional, but optional, in a sense for it, but yeah. But yeah, most people, once they get to Remnant Zone, should have a decent supply of loot gum, with a very easy way to get more glitchy loot gum if they need. So it's... it's not as bad as like your first time through Ghost World or whatever. Surprisingly. Also, do I have any arrows yet? I feel like... Oh, boy. Yeah. Okay, none of those are actual errors, and I know where those come from, and it's fine. But yeah. Are you a developer for Ghost Simulator? Yes, I am currently the programming developer for Ghost Simulator. I'm in charge of making all the programming stuff. Oh, I got hit by that attack. Why isn't it infinite yield there? Basically, for all the UI and all the character stuff, like all the client side, you don't want any of that stuff running before the server actually sets some stuff up. For instance, the server needs to go ahead and load some, like your stats or whatever. So, imagine if it tried to read like, I don't know, your antenna level or whatever before the server actually set it. It would probably run into some error or whatever. So it's trying to wait until that. But the way it's done, sort of, probably, or it leads to this sort of error or something where it kind of, it's not really an error. It's more of just kind of a warning that, hey, this could be an error in the future. Because it is trying to wait for something to be populated, but it doesn't give like a timeout, whatever, for it. So it could end up just taking forever, which isn't great for your code. For this, it's fine because you are guaranteeing that will come once the server loads some stuff. But until that thing's loaded, it doesn't know how long it needs to wait for it. So yeah. Anyways, there it goes. Got some vet bait. Why are there two different night ghosts? Because whoever added the night ghost wasn't realizing that there was a different kind of night ghost already in the game. Yeah, don't worry. It's not like they're overlapped in the code or whatever. They will count as different ghosts if you vacuum them. Yeah, it's just kind of unfortunate that they're both in a courtyard area, and I have no idea how to spell the correct courtyard when I go for it. So there is some mistyped quests where it says go to the night ghost in Castle Courtyard instead of Fantasy Courtyard for Remnant Zone, but yeah. What is that green translucent NPC? That is called Green Girl. She is the Rebirth NPC. Also, can you just stop spaghettiing my frames? Thank you. We'll grab this. Might as well. Yeah, she's kind of a lore thingy. Don't worry about it. It's just lore. She appears randomly once you have rebirth. She's in a few different spots. I don't think there's anything lore significance. I guess if you do Archie's quest, Archie references her a few times, talking about gathering data on it and whatnot. Stupid chat. Why don't I have chat closed? Yeah, it's definitely something the wiki part of me is like, oh, that's pretty bad. I've noticed, I've known about it for a while. I don't plan on changing it just because I don't feel like it, but you know, I probably should. But yeah, how much gems is that? That's around like 80 million gems per cell or whatnot, which, you know, is it only 80 million gems per cell? Or 800 million? 800 million? No, it's like 80 million. I mean, that's not too bad. Alright, unfortunately I do kind of know where all these puzzles are, so you guys aren't going to get to watch me struggle to figure out where all these riddles are talking about. Which, unfortunate for you guys, fortunate for me, because specifically the third one is probably should have been fixed before I released it. I just kind of gave up on double checking stuff. Also, yes, the music now works here, so. There you go. Yeah, all that stuff, like the Rebirth NPC, I think has been in since Rebirth's were added. It was something that the original lore was pretty heavy. I think some of that stuff has been sort of forgotten with the rest of the lore. It's somewhat been explained, but like it was kind of just trusted that people would understand it when they first got to it or whatever. Alright, let's see. No. All those ghosts are... Oh, those are all the ghosts from the first area. Rare ghosts specifically? No, common ghosts. My laptop's used to it. It definitely, I'm pretty sure it's like a heating thing because, like my computer's capable of processing faster than that, but I think it's just trying to maintain a heat so that like you can actually like touch it and use it as a laptop. I'm there's probably a way to override that, somehow, and that might increase my performance. But I really can't be bothered. It works for most of the time, so, yeah. Or maybe I upgrade the heating on it and get, like, a huge, like, jet fan or whatever to cool it off. Yeah, I'm used to it. I don't even notice. The worst part about it is the Roblox physics. Like, I can play on 10 FPS. It's just the Roblox physics makes it so I can't move on 10 FPS. No, I am legitimately thinking about buying a gaming PC now that I have a somewhat steady income. It's not a good income, but it is a somewhat steady one that I could definitely think about providing for a PC with. Will there ever be a skip dialogue button? I think what I would like to do is first fix some of the issues with the normal skipping. Because, like, yes, there might be a skip dialogue option in the future. I don't want to add one. But, like, it is one of those things where it is more just annoying to people than it is adding to the experience. I'm recognizing that a little bit more every day. I still feel like having the dialogue there is very good, and but yeah, maybe I definitely want to fix it so that it isn't bad when you're lagging, because I know if you're getting like 2 FPS, the letters only appear every 2 frames or whatever, or every frame or whatever, so you only get 2 letters every single second, even at its fastest thing, which is not great when you're lagging. It does make it very pay to win to skip through dialogue, because only people with good PCs can actually skip through it fast. But yeah. Also, I don't know. Deadbolt could probably tell you that would probably save around like 5 minutes on a rebirth or whatever, and I probably actually wouldn't care about balancing that into the rest of the rebirth, because like that's kind of a stupid way to do it. But yeah, every time. Every time you add some quality of life stuff like that, where it makes the game faster in some respects, by like allowing people to skip some original intentional game design, it breaks a little bit. I think a good example of this is there's a game I play on the side called Defenders of Texel. Specifically, it's Defenders of Texel Online, which is a remake of the game from a few years ago. But like its trading system in the game is pretty barbaric. As in, you have to trade stuff, you put stuff up on a market, and you can only offer it up for like 3 different slots. And then like if you want to sell it for like a currency, instead of being able to like write out the amount of currency you want, you can only select like different amounts of that currency. So if you wanted to sell something for like 1.5 thousand money or whatever, you'd have to select 1,000, because you only had like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 20, 30 on non, so you only have like 100, 200 up to 1,000. So you'd have to select 1,000, then you'd have to select 500, and then you'd have to select like 20 or whatever as different slots. And since you had a maximum of 3 slots, you can't really sell something for like 1,278. You could only sell it for 1,270 or 1,280, because you only have those 3 slots. But because it has those restrictions on the trading, it kind of gives the game character. So like having limitations on the game is sort of what gives it character in a way. So like having the limitation where you have to go through dialogue of the game gives the game a little bit of character by having to, you know, actually read dialogue, know lore, do quests. Obviously you have that thing where maybe not having that character, it shouldn't have that or whatever, because it makes the game worse. But like just having that character in the first place is somewhat important to a game, even if it does degrade the quality. So it's always that balance of keeping the character that the game has with those features, versus making it better in a way. But yeah. No, yeah, there's definitely many ways to do it. I think I'd start with fixing it so that like the auto dialogue works better, because right now it does not work great. How many pickles do I have again? Please tell me I have a few. I do. All right, there we go. And then Alright, let me go grab some... Didn't I have... Oh, it's called card stack, not hand. I was about to say, I'm sure I unboxed some of those. Yeah, the thing about that quiz is that it actually, every time you got it wrong, it would actually reduce the amount you need to get correct. So if you went through it like 7 times or whatever and failed, whoa, I actually do not have any card stacks. Okay, that is mildly obnoxious. I could probably do some other recipes, but like... I don't want to. Took you over 20 tries? If you server hop in between, I can understand that. If you stay in the same server, the maximum amount of tries it would take would be 12, and that's literally getting them every single time getting them wrong or whatever. Yeah. Alright, there we go. Card stack and pickles. I do kind of want to make crafting better at some point. I do know it's kind of bad. Yeah, did it? Yeah, yeah, staying in one server was the way to do it for that quest, unfortunately. But yeah, no, there is some issues. There actually used to be an issue where if you open the journal, it'd do that same thing. But basically, loading that inventory menu is really laggy. Whoever coded it before me, obviously just loads it, tries to load it all in one frame, where you kind of want to spread it out just a teeny bit. Same thing you can also tell when you open someone else's inventory. If you open their inventory, your computer really slows down. I'm sure even Deadpool has that issue. And then if they leave while you're in their inventory, you also crash, which is not a good thing. I really do need to look into fixing that. But it is a really big system, the inventories in Ghost Simulator, and it is programmed in a way that I wouldn't be able to replicate. I don't program the way it's programmed. Which you guys are probably thinking something like, hey, isn't programming all the same thing? No, there's definitely a lot of different ways to program. And me and Royal, and probably also Adam, all program in different ways. And you can kind of see that in the programming of Ghost Simulator. Or at least I can. See all the differences in our design decisions. Yeah. Boop. This mushroom's like the least helpful mushroom. Like, why is there a tree? Why is there an island right over it? Fine, I'll use a different mushroom. I don't think that's one's getting me the height I need. Wait, what mushrooms do I use for this? Oh, this one is the one I used. Okay. No, this one's not that helpful either. Yeah, this isn't in a good spot. Okay, I go from here to that tree and that's it. Ew. Okay, guys, I'm sorry this is taking forever. I thought I would be better at this. Yeah, okay. Are these really that badly placed? We just spent like 5 minutes on a find item. I could have just used bunny gun. But like, my goodness, I was having some skill issues. All right, 5 bosses. We will probably swap back to public servers after this, because bosses do take a while. Actually, we might even swap back. I think we'll swap back before, after I do Spade Harbinger. Okay, I think I want to do Spade Harbinger. One of the things I do kind of need to do before I do that Rift video that I've been talking about for a while is actually have some Spade Harbinger loot bags, because right now I have 0. I think I actually have 0. No, I have 26. And I'd ideally like to have somewhere around 700 of those for unboxing with a Riftcom, just to show how many gems you can get from that. But yeah, that's sort of optional. I might just, you know, dev myself them or something else to show that off if I really want to show it off. Also, sorry, I hate having odd amount of loot bags, and I know these are not optimal, but oh yeah, we do want to be selling it with X Gum. I think we'll actually just go ahead and quit that, because we aren't really using Loot Gum anymore. We don't really need items per se, so. Hey, no, stop. Okay, I do believe the second spawn for Spade Harbinger was water area, but yeah. Honestly, I kind of forgot how long this quest took. It's already been an hour and we're about halfway through it. I think we're actually a little bit further than halfway. I think the earlier quests are a little bit... No, we're a lot less than halfway because we have this boss quest still. But I think once we get done with this boss quest, we're more than halfway. I can't remember what the exact squash structure. I do know that it changes like halfway. Like before halfway, it's a lot different than after halfway. And I can't remember if it got easier or harder or about the same. I do know that we still have 2 more boss quests, one for 3 Remnant Guardians, and then one for 2 Spade Harmingers, 2 Grims, and 2 Anomalies. So a total of... We still have a total of 13 bosses. So, you know, maybe I won't have as much time after I finish up this quest as I thought I would for doing other stuff, but we'll see. Whatever the case is, I think once I am done with the bosses for this, I should actually have enough currency to grab the Remnant Ruler without having to do any grinding, so all I'll need to do is grind for the Bitwings, which is only around 600 million worth of gems, or gems worth of Ectobits, which I think at the rate I grind will be around 50 minutes to an hour with my pets. So probably another hour and a half of this, and then an hour of grinding for Bitwings. And then we'll go ahead and see about grinding for either a Mega Boss or for a Classified. We'll see. Oh, that is a rough fall. Also, I think we're going to be getting onto the daily leaderboard sooner rather than later here. What's my favorite food? Okay, I am such a sucker for pizza. Like, I know it's one of the simplest food and one of like the common foods that people talk about, but like cheese is just good. I like macaroni and cheese. Yeah, cheese in general is one of the best things in the world. Ice cream's also really good. I would consider it more of like, if you're asking about, I know it's a food, but generally when people ask food, they aren't generally referring to desserts, or at least that's how I perceive it. So I would probably rank that higher than pizza. I mean, mac and cheese is pretty good. Anything with cheese, though, is pretty good. Unique foods. Honestly, though, I like a lot of food. There's like 3 or 4 things I don't like food-wise. And other than that, it's like, I'm fine with it. So, like, you know, okay, I don't like hot sauces. I don't like hot foods, in terms of, like, spice. That's something I guess I don't like. That's actually pretty broad and counts on a lot of foods. But like stuff like what is it called? You know, it's what is that called? All right, we're gonna go ahead and sell. We're gonna go hop over to public servers really quick because that will allow us to get better bosses. And I think we're going to be needing quite a bit of bosses from now on, so we'll go do that. But yeah. I'm still trying to remember what the name of that is. It's the stuff that goes on rice that's I'd say Asian of some sort. I don't know what kind, but like, pork, green, it's green and pork, has pork in it, or chicken in it sometimes. What's that called? Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, I don't know. Actually, anything with rice is pretty good, like stir fry or, what is it called? Arg. There's so many good foods and I don't know what the names to them are. It's kind of bad. But yeah, we'll grab this boss. But yeah, I think we only need what, like, yeah, we're already a fifth of the way here. We should be able to get there pretty quickly. Also, we get around, what are we getting per cell? 300, that. So if I was wanting to grind, how many bosses would I need to get for, like 100 bosses? Yeah, I think it'd be around 100 bosses if I wanted to go for, Sandstorm. Is it really that many? I feel like that's a lot. Maybe that's more. I have a Samsung phone. I think it's an S23, so about like a 2-year-old model now. S22? I don't know. It's a Samsung of it's a more recent Samsung model. It's you know, it's one of those things that parents buy for it, so it's not like I care too much. It gets the job done. Yeah, Sam. I mean, it is a name brand, so it is pretty good. I do know that United States is kind of a little bit of a as sort of this idea of what they have not that great, even when it is pretty amazing, like availability of phones and jobs and whatever. At least compared to other parts of the world, but grand scheme of things, I mean, it's more or less just a phone. Any phone you have is going to be pretty similar. Alright. Ow, that was a delayed. Alright. Alright, let's go grab some bosses from a few other worlds. Main Hub always has a few ones. I think most people prefer iPhones. iPhones is, I would say it's a meme at this point that people want iPhones. I have no idea why. I've never bought into that one. I have no idea why people call iPhones better. As far as I can see, they're just strictly speaking either worse or just as good as any other phone. But yeah. Yeah, there's definitely there's definitely a difference between what kids do and what adults think. Adults, or if you're in high school or middle school or any like schooling, like students are going to have, kids are going to have stupid ideas of, oh yeah, what your phone has matters. Whereas like once you get, I don't know, out of school, it's like, oh yeah, you have a working phone? Oh cool, so do I. And no one really cares anymore. You have a working car? Oh, so do I. Oh, yours is a Honda Civic? Oh, who cares? But yeah, when you're in school, a lot more people because it's a, I don't know. It's weirder when you're a kid versus when you become an adult for stuff like that. Like, as an adult, the only difference for me that I can realistically see between iPhones, other phones, is whether or not I can play Dota online, because you need to actually sideload that. You have to, it's a game developed by a solo dev, so you have to kind of download the APK, you have to download the app separately from a store, and you can't do that on an iPhone. So basically, the only difference is whether or not you have an Android is whether or not you can download a specific app, which is pretty much the only difference I see between phones at this point. But yeah. Yeah, I mean, the thing with kids, like, it's all, like, what phone you have is all your parents' decisions. It is literally nothing to do with your own, like, who you are as a person, which is why it's so stupid that kids care about it. It's like, oh, you don't have a phone? What a loser. It's like, no, that's not them whatsoever. That's literally all their parents. And it's not... I never, as a kid, I mean, I think I've said this before, I was not a popular kid. I did not create friends in school. And yeah, I didn't understand half of what went on. I just saw it and thought it was stupid. And I truly did not have, I pretty much had no friends throughout school. I mean, I talked to people, but like, I don't know. Even today, I wouldn't invite someone over to my house to play games or whatever. I'm not very good at socializing like that, so. Yeah, I don't really have advice for phones. I don't know tech very well. Alright, let's go see if we can find another boss in Remnant Zone. Like, even when it comes to PC, like, I'm not the person to go look up stats for a PC, so when I do end up buying a better PC, that is going to be a chore. It's going to be doing something completely different, trying to figure out what stuff means, what a good PC would be buy, what price to buy it at, comparing stuff, that's... I do not look forward to that whatsoever, so I mean, I'm just sticking with this laptop and probably until it breaks. Hello! Mini boss in 5 minutes, or we can go try to find the mini boss. Or the remnant boss. Nothing here. Let's go check to see if the boat is spawned. It's actually funny, like, 10,000 by 10,000 PX is actually not... Let me do some quick math right here to make sure I'm not going crazy. But yeah, I don't think 10,000 by 10,000 is actually that big for a canvas. I guess since you're using a website, there's a different... Oh, please tell me we're here in time. Yes, we are here in time. This is a very low health boss. I have no idea how this boss got this low on health. Generally speaking, in public servers, there's always someone doing a boss, so it generally doesn't last any longer than like 2 minutes left, so pretty late. 10,000 by 10,000? Okay, I think, yeah, that might be a bit big. 100,000 by 100,000 might be a bit big. Not a website, it's an app? Okay. Yeah, okay, 100,000 by 100,000 I could see crashing. Yeah, generally, I, don't work with, stuff over, like, three, like 1,000 by 1,000 or whatever. So yeah, no, I'll definitely keep that in mind for the 20,000 pictures I am making a day. No, I pretty much entirely use GIMP for any of my editing, and I'm not great at any of the art stuff, so I don't really need anything. I'm more of an image guy. Like, if you look at the current update image for Ghost Simulator, it is literally 3 in-game images copy pasted into the thing. It is really bad. Crashed and updated? Yeah. Honestly, though, I'm surprised. Generally, apps, like, unless it's a cheap app that, like, you either developed yourself, I'm talking from experience here, or, yeah, if it's a cheap app that you developed yourself, or, otherwise, like, it's going to have to do something, like, really bad to actually crash. Because generally speaking, it's really easy as a developer to put checks in place to make sure that you don't crash the person using your app's PC. Because, like, all it really takes for, like, that one, for instance, is just setting an upper bounds to, like, maybe, I don't know, 10,000 by 10,000 or something, so you can't actually make something bigger than that. And then having checks like, oh, did user enter number above 10,000? If so, return error, or whatever. And then, or if, like, if you actually want to prevent it from, like, completely crashing, just double checking that they have the available RAM or whatever that they need for whatever action, and that they can allocate it or whatever. It's not too difficult, but yeah, I mean, if it's called something like Paint.net, I'm assuming it's a relatively simple app, and so it might not have stuff like that, which is fine. I mean, you know, there's features that other Roblox games have that GhostSim doesn't, because GhostSim is a smaller game. And it's because there's not really development time that should be put into making this game a true masterpiece, and having all the up-to-date bells and whistles that games that have hundreds of thousands of current users at a time can afford to put in. But yeah. Definitely not a cheap app. I mean, if it's free, there's a little bit of skimping that goes on the development team. But yeah, every time you do add a check like that, you do have to add a lot of, you always add a little bit of complexity. And sometimes adding complexity is not something that people want to do, even if it doesn't feel like much. Like, every little bit of complexity definitely adds a little bit of potential for errors or lag issues, or makes it harder for it to go cross-platform or whatever. Yeah. Yeah, okay, sounds pretty similar to what GIMP has going on. I can't give an unbiased opinion on that, as I am financially, I do get financial benefits from money you spend on the Ghost Simulator. I will say this, that I don't know if I would spend money on Ghost Simulator. I wouldn't recommend it. It's one of those things where, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I'm a little bit what's it called? Embarrassed when it comes to money, scared of money or whatever. But yeah. No, I won't actually get fired for not like telling people not to spend money, I don't think. Yeah, a lot of the stuff that you can spend money on isn't really worth it in some respects. Some game passes are definitely worth it. But like there's nothing like permanent to buy. Like really, once you buy the game passes, there's nothing that really will help. Actually, boosted event drop scum is kind of busted when it comes to like grinding mega bosses. I've done the math. It is pretty overpowered. But like it's kind of hard to spend money. Like I wouldn't advise people to buy like crate keys. I wouldn't advise people to buy skipping quests. I wouldn't advise people to buy skipping a boss timer. All of those are like Robux purchasables that like I wouldn't advise people to buy. I don't think they're worth it. I think game passes are worth it. I think for some people these limited store items are worth it, just because they are kind of cool sometimes, and they are cosmetic. So, but like I strictly speaking, I don't think it's worth it to buy these in terms of non-cosmetic. I don't think the pet will help you stat-wise, and I don't think the boards. It's worth buying stuff to trade for other stuff like the boards. You can, but I don't think it's worth it. And then like, yeah, there's other games where there's like infinite purchasable options and every single one of them does provide some value. Actually, yeah, those are decent game passes. When it comes to game passes, the best ones are definitely 2x items and then double boss drops, so they're just so overpowered. After that, it's then like 2x rems. It's super cheap. Then I've been saying this for a while, and I'm realizing that I might be actually kind of wrong on this. I've been saying that like 2 + 2 pet slots is kind of like overrated. I feel like though it is less than plus 50% cell stats and plus 50% vacuum stats, but that's pretty good. But I definitely think double range and quick unbox are pretty good perks. Like, and more agility. All of those quality of life stuff are just like super good. A lot better than you'd think if you don't own them. But yeah, definitely 2x items, 2x boss drops are pretty good. 2x luck, like double luck. A lot of people look at 2x luck as like, oh, that's the best one, because that's generally what luck is in games. But in Ghost Simulator, it's actually kind of useless in a sense. Like, unless you're going for high-end classifieds, it really doesn't... Having 2x luck is kind of useless. No, double range and more agility, I've said this. If you don't have them, they feel... I've said this before. I have said that they are useless before. They are not worthless. They are super good quality of life things. Like, being able to move faster, having double range. You can play without them. But if you buy them, the game feels so much better. It is so, it is unreal how good they are. Okay, no self, don't try to do obbies with 4 FPS. Yeah, premium benefit now, It's definitely another quality of life Game Pass that I think some people might get used to, especially that movement speed. Okay. Okay, now I'm just having a skill issue. Yeah, the game is definitely a bit grindy. I definitely think it... Okay, it definitely has some issues where it's grindy in the wrong areas, where it's grindy for a new player, whereas for an old player it is like not grindy or whatever. I definitely in the future do kind of want to move some of the grind out to the end game. Alright, now we need to go do a few bosses. Yeah, it's already been an hour and a half. This might be a slightly longer stream than I was... no. We might not be able to do as much random stuff as I was thinking I would be able to do this stream. Alright, where was Spades Harbinger? I think he was just over here, so let's try to... Yeah, right over here. And then let's go check for some Grims, and then we'll just swap through some worlds until we can find active bosses. Minute 30, we'll ignore. Ideally, we're looking for a boss that's already been spawned. And it's like half dead or whatever. Otherwise, we'll just server hop. Yeah, nope, not here. Alright, bye. Alright, just a second, guys. What is that? Alright, just a second. Alright, I'm back. Okay, I saw one in Ghost World. I think we'll go hop to Ghost World. I'm probably going to start using some event bait now to go ahead and make it go by a little bit faster. It's Grim. Far Island. Alright, there we go. Okay, actually, one of the funny thing about this, this quest perk is, like, when it was first added, I was unsure if it would actually be super useful. I still don't know if it's going to be super useful. It definitely feels a little lackluster in terms of perks. But now that it has a, no, I don't want to go to Void. I want to go to Remnants. No, I want to go to Backdoor. But yeah, now that I added a hotkey for teleporting with it, it definitely does make it quite a bit better. Being able to teleport just by hitting a key on your keyboard instead of having to go back down there and click the teleport button. I haven't actually used this on my main account yet. I have it on my alt account. But earlier this week, Monday, when I was doing grinding on it, I definitely felt like it was a lot better to be able to just press C to teleport than previously when I had the perk having to go down and click sell because, I don't know, it felt better. Hopefully other people are feeling that too. I don't know if that is going to be the case with everyone. Maybe I'm just, because I programmed it, I got used to pressing C for it, but I don't know. Uh, 4 minutes. Do I want to? Yeah, I think we're just going to have to event bait for it. And it's going to take a bit of time, but it's going to be better in the long term. Let's see. Where is Anomaly? The literal last place I check. No, not quite. There was one more area we could have checked. We could have went ahead and checked the river last, but yeah. Okay, yeah, okay, the new teleporter. So you're saying the new teleporter saved like 10 minutes or something like that? Maybe I should have added a little bit more bosses to make up for that. I really don't want to end up making Rebirth so much easier. Ideally I'd make them harder at some point, but keep vacuuming. I don't. I'm having a skill issue right now, so. But yeah, if it really comes down to it, I might even, if I do accidentally make stuff easier, like it goes down to like a minute 30 or whatever for Rebirth, add in time later and add a different update. I would like to ideally keep it, anytime I do make it easier, make it harder in that same update so it stays around update to update. But, you know, the next best time to replace it is when I find out that it is an issue. Not just the teleport, but other buffs as well are really helping. I'm assuming you're also talking about like ending gum or whatever, helping. The TP now being able to be disabled everywhere. Yeah. All of those are going to combine to be a nuisance, but yeah, you know. If it gets too easy, and I notice too many people doing that, I will nerf it, but for now, I'm not going to care too much. Like, going from a minute 55 or 2 hours to hour 45, it is pretty bad. But no one's really doing a consistent hour 45 yet. So we're going to pretend it's fine. All right, I believe the next spawn for here is barn. After that one, so we'll start heading there. I just wanted to check up here just in case I was wrong, but it does appear to be in the barn. Yeah, no one other than you. Yeah, no, I definitely can see that. There isn't that many. Okay, there are a few people rebirthing, but like realistically speaking, it affects such a small amount of players that making it too fast or too slow or whatever for an update isn't the end of the world. When I see you post the no. Hello. Actually, how close are we, since we are here, how close are we already to the bit wings? We're about 6%. After this, no, okay, whatever, we get the currency no matter what. Now we're up to 10%, or 9%. So yeah, each boss gave us a little bit. We will have to go equip the void set or whatever. When we actually get back to grinding that, but Not close at all. Yeah, not 9% of the way is not too close. But we haven't really done that much grinding yet. That would be around, what was it, like 30 more bosses for there, so what is that? About 30 minutes, half an hour, up to an hour to get it, so pretty close to what I was expecting. Alright, we'll go grab Grim really quick, and then hopefully we get back into this Remnant Zone server for that Spade spawn. We're going to event bait this if it isn't spawned yet, and then we're going to do it. Hopefully it is spawned already and just really close and we can grab 1% of it, but you know, can't always have the perfect bosses. Alright, that's not the worst boss. We did have a lot of ping when we joined that server, this server for whatever reason, which was horrible. Roblox, please fix your physics. I don't like it. But yeah, now that we're here, pretty good boss. Probably joined when it was like 75% health, but whatever. Alright, we're nearing the 2-hour mark on this quest. I definitely think this is actually a pretty cool, pretty nice quest line in terms of length. Like, I've been kind of annoyed when some of the other quests in Remnant Zone have been coming out, and there was like, oh, an hour-long quest for Spade's permanent parachute. Yeah, that's something people will care about. So I'm definitely glad that it is definitely a noticeable time investment. I mean, people are going to complain about it no matter how difficult it is. Like, either it's too difficult or not difficult enough. Even like even with this quest, I think some people have complained that it's too hard, while other people have been like, yeah, it might be a bit easy. I think overall though, it's probably a pretty good difficulty for most people. And yes, we are in the same server, so all we need to do is now go find Spades, which I'm expecting to be either in underwater or in the bridge. And he is just here in underwater. Anyways, I think where is the 3 Remnant Guardians in this? Is it after the next obby or before it? I guess it probably has to be after the next obby, because is it right before it? I don't know. Wow. I'm literally the person who added the quest, so I don't know what the quest order is. So I do know what quests are left. There's some quests for collecting rare ghosts from the last 4 areas, or normal ghosts, I guess, from the last 4 areas. There's a quest for grabbing ghosts from the bonus biomes. And then there's also 2 find item quests. There's the journal quest and yeah. Yeah, heavy armor. Yeah, this is a perfect time to go get heavy armor. Will help us with every single boss that we have left. Well, I do know quest 20 is the last obby, 21 is the 4 keys. 15 is also find a key obby. Anyways, we're up to 30% of the way towards the Remnant Ruler. Yeah, this is a perfect time. No, I'm actually planning on rebirthing still, so I don't actually want to grab too many of the permanent perks like Jetpack or Heavy Armor. But yeah, no, it's definitely a good time to do it is right after you complete all the boss quests for a world, instead of doing it before. All right, looks like other people are grinding ghosts in this area, so actually doesn't look like they're grabbing too many ghosts, so we're gonna be fine. Alright, nope, not getting there. Yeah, I don't think doing it again, like, if it hurts if it doesn't work the first time, I don't think doing it again will produce any different results. But yeah, good luck with that. Maybe it improved suddenly since the last time you did it, and could actually form, maybe. Oh, okay, yeah. Resizing is definitely a little bit different in terms of like compute power than making it blank. Because like pixel wise, you're doing a lot of math to expand it. Although it is a lot of matrix math, which arguably can be done pretty efficiently by computers. So maybe not as much. But if you just make it fresh, then yeah, it might do a bit better on optimizing blank pixels versus calculating each individual pixel. Alright, one more rare ghost. Alright, there we go. And then we need to unbox. Alright, there we go. Alright. Yeah, it looks like the 3 remnants are going to be quest 16. We're going to go grab the pig ghost, then we're going to grab the Cheshire ghost and the, convert the rems. Hello. I don't think you're the only one here. I'm just thinking no one's really talking because I don't have anything interesting to say. Yeah. I think that what Roblox reports as concurrent viewers can sometimes be a little bit off from what it is. Like, I actually have, on my side, 2 different, like, metrics of how many concurrent viewers there are. And so sometimes one will show, like, 8 and the other one will show, like, 3. And it's like, I wonder which one's accurate. But, yeah, no, it's... One of those things. I kind of lost track of what I was trying to think of and just focused on doing quests, so, probably should be doing a little bit more talking. Although it's definitely going to be nice to be caught up with this remote teleport perk, because I've been doing some rebalancing to it, and I don't actually have it unlocked yet, so it's like I'm rebalancing it, and then to make sure that it tests that it works, I have to like manually give myself it every single time. So just having it by default will definitely make testing a lot easier, because I actually like to test the stuff that I put out in the game sometimes. Not all the time. There's times where like Final Boss will get an update to how it works, and then I won't test it because I don't feel like it. Last updates, balance changes, or bug fixes. But yeah, no, I do actually test some of the stuff. I actually have a controller. I know I've showed this one off before, but I bought myself a controller to connect to my PC, so that I could actually test some of the controller inputs for the game, because that was one thing I was noticing right when I started, that there was stuff that I was doing that controller just had no way to do stuff anymore. Like even before I became a developer, there was some issues with controller not being really usable. So getting myself one to actually test out a lot of that stuff has definitely helped quite a bit with it. There's still times when I forget about some stuff, like last update specifically, I made these buttons, which can be selected on controller by using their UI navigation. But what it ended up doing was, because Journal is kind of a separate thing that can be opened at the same time. For anyone who wanted to go to Journal, instead of just going left or right, all the way over to Journal, what it ended up happening would be right, if they wanted to go over to the Journal to do like the teleports and whatever. And I just completely forgot that that was how the Journal menu opened and worked for controller. So it ended up being that it just was a horrible mess for any controller players trying to use the quest journal to teleport fast for like rebirths or whatever. And it was just something I completely forgot. Like, I understood that this was going to be an issue, or I understood, not that it was going to be an issue, but that these selections down here would be selected like that. I just didn't realize that there was something important, because the trade menu and the setting menu are also selected like that. But because those are generally the only things that are open, I was like, okay, how does this work? Over, okay, you go down here. I'm like, okay, that's not super important. You don't really need to go into the settings or trade menu all that often. And I thought that'd be fine. I just completely forgot that like journal would open, or another thing that is this menu would open. It need to be like selectable for things for mobile, so, or for controllers. So yeah, there's that. And then mobile also had a few issues that I was not expecting. So now, it basically, if you're on mobile, it used to be the case that sometimes these buttons would actually interact with your movement. So now you can actually go ahead and disable those, which should help. It's definitely a very rudimentary fix that is more temporary. It's probably going to be permanent, but just because it is super easy. But yeah. Yeah, I think you're probably have crashed if it isn't responding. Ooh, that's a lot of Cheshires. Give me them all. Oh, that's a lot of Cheshires. Being a developer fun, I like it. I love programming. Like, I went to 4 years of software development, and I really enjoy the challenges that come with it. There are definitely times when it is difficult, like specifically pushing out an update that has either bugs or being later on stuff. It kind of gets a little bit stressful. But like, I enjoy a lot of like the thinking. Like for instance, coming up with this buff system. This was a lot of work to do. It literally required working out a whole new system in the game, where all this stuff would unlock and lock. And I'm still not 100% sure that it's lag free. Like there's a full potential that this system adds like a lot more server load to the server, like trying to manage all the buffs. But it was fun to do. I enjoyed. There's definitely some stuff like bosses, for instance, the mega boss you guys probably noticed. I don't want to convert too many of these. I believe it's what, 50 million I need to convert, so we'll just do minimum. Yeah, no, seeing a lot of rare ghosts is always a very fun sight when you need them. But yeah, during the Easter event, for instance, coding that mega boss fight, the invasion, I guess, event, for that was definitely hard. It took quite a bit of time to make sure that thing was working fine. It still was a mess. But yeah. Really, the thing about programming is that, like, none of it's really difficult. It's just long, and then you have to do a lot of thinking. Like, you have to figure out the logic behind how you want something to work. That was long dialogue. And then go ahead and find it. Like, I don't know. I wouldn't call it hard. Like, it's something I know how to do. I have a bachelor degree in it. Oh, we've already skipped it. But yeah, sometimes it is, like, difficult to know what to do, how to fix an issue. For the longest time, there was some loading issue with the journal. I don't know if that's completely resolved yet. It's probably not. I just had no idea what's going on there. But yeah, it's more of, like, it's more or less like time than anything else. Like, the only like hard part is actually like managing like community stuff, which is technically not what I do as a developer. I'm not a community manager, in a sense. I think technically speaking, I probably do fit that role. But that's not what I do as a developer, so I wouldn't count it. But like managing like when people don't like an update, or there's bugs, or having to be like, yeah guys, we're nerfing rebirths by 25 times. That's when it starts to become a little bit obnoxious. It's great because, like, I have been a member of the community, so I'm not, like, pushing an update where it is actually a really bad for the community. Like, I'm in the community. I somewhat know what the game is about. I know what's to do and stuff like that, and what's actually good for the game, in a sense. But yeah, it's... It's not like solving a new Rubik's Cube, though. Like, that is actually kind of hard, where you have to think and think and think and think about something new and turned over in your head a lot. Hopefully the next person needs these Cheshire Ghosts, because I don't need them. Also, I found it kind of funny. But for like the longest time in Ghost Simulator, like groups of ghosts only spawned with like 12 of them. Like every single area had 12 ghosts that spawn. Then in one update they just added more ghosts, and now it's just kind of a lot of random ghosts, which feels super nice to play. But it's always weird to come into an area and it's not 12 ghosts, because I am so used to the 12 ghosts per area that was in Ghost Simulator for the longest time that I'm just, I don't know. I still find it tweaks my brain just a little bit every time I come into the area and I'm just vacuuming 20 or 30 ghosts. I do feel like this area specifically, the fantasy courtyard, just has a lot more ghosts than like other areas. It just, I don't know, it feels super crowded. Maybe it actually is. Maybe it's not just me imagining things, but... One, two, three, four. Three. Ouch. Okay, it's not just me. It actually has quite a bit more ghosts. Yeah, I mean, that was a design decision before me. Yeah, I might actually nerf it. It might be a little bit overpowered. Alright, here we go. Now we need to go defeat Remnant Guardian 3 times. No, I'm honestly not going... I'm going to nerf probably some of the item drops from the last few areas of Remnant Zone. Just to add some difficulty for progression a little bit. But like, I don't mean to do too much to it. It's fine how it is. Anyways, now we need to go do some Remnant Guardians. Oh, did it? Oh, did Dark Thunder do this? Like, did he actually add more circles to it? I guess he did. Also, I hope my frame rates aren't too bad, because In the last update, Dark Thunder went back and added some more of the decorations to the arena here, so hopefully that doesn't actually cause too much lag. I do think most of the lag that does happen in Mega Bosses is generally, yeah, okay, this isn't too bad. Is generally coming from the Mega Boss stuff itself, not the scenery. Like in Ghost Similar, most of the lag you get is, some of the lag is from the scenery, but most of the lag, like you'll notice on your end, is generally from unoptimized code, not spaghetti map stuff. A little bit is, especially in like Remnant Zone, you will have it, but like from Mega Boss fights, it's going to mainly be the other stuff. So, which does seem to be pretty accurate based on the fact that we're running pretty fine right now. Also, I don't know with Remnant Guardian. On other bosses, there's actually a pretty easy tell. Like, it has a body changing color or whatever for the different cycles. But for Remnant Guardian, I don't know if there's actually a pretty easy tell, like, from the boss itself, like, what cycle you're on. I know that on, like, every time you get down to 66, 67, or 34, 33%, it will go ahead and switch cycles. But for Remnant Guardian, I don't know if it has a body tell for that. Also, for whatever reason right now, we're able to do a single cycle on this boss without having to help another person. Generally, you need other people doing this boss to be able to go ahead and do it in one cycle. One person shooting, one person vacuuming. But for whatever reason right now, we aren't getting on any of these. So the best case scenario for us right now is to stand still, because it only does a tick of damage every time you move in it, because it only senses that you touched it if you are moving and touch it, because it's on Touch Connect event with Roblox, which is weird, but whatever. Anyways, that is one boss. Overall, not too difficult boss fight. The only thing you have missed is me noticing that there's a bit of new stuff on this fight. Pointing out that Dark Thunder added the decorations back to the fight. Yeah, overall not too difficult to fight. For whatever reason right now we're being able to 3-cycle it normally. I have no idea with the Mega Bosses what's their issue, because generally speaking this one has taken 2 people to do it in 3 cycles, but I haven't programmed these Mega Bosses. I don't know what's going on. And yeah, I literally don't care to look into it. Someone was pointing out that this entire animation for this is kind of broken, and it's probably fixable. It would probably take like 40 minutes, 50 minutes for me to figure out how Mega Bosses even work in the first place again. I do not look forward to fixing Mega Bosses, if I haven't said that before. I do know they need to be fixed, and it's on my list to do, is fix some of the bugs with like Final Boss, Great Guardians, Grab Attack, all of those stuff, so that it isn't super spaghetti when you're like laggy or otherwise. But yeah, it's not as easy as snapping my fingers or fixing UI issues. Oh, was it really that bad of an explanation on how Remnant Guardian works? Oh, I'm sorry. Anyways, I think we do miss the cycle on this. Anyways, let's see. We have, I think, one more Ghost Quest. We have one more Obby Quest 20. There's one other quest that we have here. I don't know what is the last quest? Oh no, we are making the cycle. Again, we'll just stay still right here. My best guess onto why this is done is that it gets randomized each time, which is weird. I know there's some issues with the final boss where the staggered, like, when you get hit, sometimes the time lasts for, like, 20 seconds, and other times it lasts for, like, 2 seconds. I haven't looked into it, but I'm assuming it's just someone's calling random. Someone as in whoever programmed it before me, is calling a random on that, and for whatever reason, which feels kind of strange. But yeah, same thing with this. I feel like it's supposed to be random every time it goes down, whether or not it takes the 2 or 3 seconds, but maybe it's programmed spaghetti, so that it only gets called for the first time, and then it's the same random number every single time, and so you just have those random times where it actually works properly. Because people have said that it's per server, and I'm believing them, that sometimes servers will allow you to 3-cycle it, and other times servers only allow you to 3-cycle it with someone else. Yeah. Also, I feel like some of the attacks are, Mega bosses have definitely become a lot less mega. Like, when Great Guardian first came out, it was actually a difficult boss fight. And after that, all the boss fights have been just easy. Okay, actually, final boss was harder. But, like, Bow Boss, super easy. Remnant Guardian, easier than Great Guardian. And it's just kind of weird because, generally, as you progress, things should be harder, not easier. So, I don't know. It feels a little weird to be doing Remnant Guardian in like half the time of Great Guardian, despite it being a later boss. Oh, so you're telling me that you're almost able to see a 100,000 by 100,000 PX? Yeah, I think that was worth your time. Oh, wait, we need a... Not me completely forgetting I need to actually grind this boss. Well, that will add a cycle. We only missed it by 3%. Yeah, we're getting hit by that laser. No way we avoid it. Nice! Now what do you gain from that? Yeah, no, it's not that bad. .9. Okay, that is actually quite a bit of pixels. I mean, I don't know why you'd need that many, but good on you. Alright, there we go. Also, with this, we'll be getting up to about halfway of the remnant coins we need for the remnant ruler. We are nearing the 3-hour mark, though, on this stream, so that's interesting. I think we'll probably go up until like a 4-hour stream. I don't know. Just to get stuff done. I'm definitely going to be completing Blue Bunny. I think we have like one time-consuming quest left. And I think it's this one. And then it's find item and then find item miscellaneous quest after that. It's alright, good. We did manage to sell before our gum ran out. I was trying to do that really quick because, actually, it doesn't matter. I have infinite, glitchy X gum. But, you know, I felt like it. Yeah, there's really no reason for me to actually care that much about, making use out of the X gum perfectly because, like, I mean, I'm never going to, no one's ever going to use 1,000 X gum. That's 2,000 minutes. That's 30 hours of straight X gum, which, yeah. Okay, I plan on at some point adding a use for gum in the future that is like an infinite use. I know I've said something somewhere about like using it to you get like pet XP, like you can use one I don't know, X gum to get 1 pet XP on a pet. I feel like that'd be a decent way to do it. I know just making a gum sink in the game so that people don't have 1 billion of it at a time. I feel like that would help. Also providing a little bit more value for the people who have a bunch, because right now it's kind of like, oh yay, I have 1,000,000,001 gum. What am I ever going to use with? You don't really need any more than 100, so providing a use for that, and then also maybe new features people would like. I don't know. But I do want to do something with gum. There's always the option of me adding it to like the incinerator or like adding it back to the gum machine, so you can always be like, oh yeah, I want new different gums, and turn in like 50 of your common gums into a new random gum or whatever. But yeah, we'll see. None of those are really planned yet, so I'll have to end up planning something for that, but it's something I do want to do. I do see that as an issue where there's really no use for gum because it takes so long to use some of them, like common gums especially. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, just because you have a bunch of gums that you're unable to use doesn't mean I feel like that's just because you have had so many. I don't think it's actually that much of an issue. Like, you grinded that long for that many gums, and you want to toss it on saving time on leveling up pets, go for it. It's just going to be an option. It's not going to be like a good option. Not necessarily. I mean, maybe it will be. But yeah. Hello. Yeah, I'm trying out a different stream time. I don't know. It's definitely good to have a different. I think going forward, I'll be trying to do more of these midweek off time streams. Maybe I'll even settle into a regular schedule on Wednesday of doing a stream at this time, if it fits. But yeah, no, it's definitely going to be a little bit something different than what people are used to for my streams. Anyways, we're halfway to Remnant Ruler. We are almost done with this quest. So once we finish up this quest, we'll swap over to just grinding Remnant coins for Remnant Ruler. And then once we finish up that, we'll swap over to grabbing Bitwings too. Yeah, okay. Yeah, no, I think it'd be a pretty balanced system too. Obviously numbers would be tweaked. It would be like a 1-for-1 for everything. But yeah, I don't think it's the worst idea in the world. I know other people are like, hey, that's a horrible idea. No, I think this game needs more resource sinks. I think you get too many gems, but like you need ways to go ahead and use gums. That's kind of what I try to do with the gem chests, was adding more ways to use Rift Gum. Because yeah, you can save Rift Gum now, but you can also just like immediately use a Rift Gum and get a few billion gems. And it just like it isn't bad to have more ways to use stuff. And even if it isn't worth it to go use a Rift Gum on that, some people are still going to do it just because like, oh yeah, it's easy, it's gems. So yeah. Depending on how it's stored, the thing about a 10 billion pixel image is that it might even compress down pretty quickly and be able to like send places. I mean, definitely with a white one, you can find really easy compressions. Just be like, oh yeah, a billion of these, please and thank you. But yeah. Gives a good reason to get 10% gem bonus? I mean, in a sense, yes. It definitely will help to go for that maximum gem bonus per rebirth. But even without that, it actually does add up to be pretty decent gems per crate with it. I'm going to be actually trying on my main account to open one of those up. When I do the Rift Gum video, I keep talking about this Rift Gum video. It's been 2 weeks. I should just admit it and not make it. But no, I do plan on making that video, and when I do plan on using an enchanted Rift Gum on that gem chest just to show how much I get from it. And then also probably using some boss gum. Where are all the... Okay, actually, I do know where all the ghosts are. Let me see if I can show you guys. This is an issue. Actually, I can do this. Dev stuff, guys, don't worry. But yeah, ghosts tend to fall out of this area, and so you just have a lot of ghosts that just end up spawning out here, which is not great. Dev stuff over. That's definitely one of those things. There's not actually as many ghosts out there as I was worried. But yeah, some ghosts just end up spawning on like walls or whatever, and then end up falling out of the map, and then you don't be able to see them anymore. But yeah, basically where gems are at right now, where it is possible, but even at like the maximum rebirths, it takes a while for you to get a lot of gems, is kind of where I want to do with the other ways to grind gems in the game, so that they're all fairly well balanced. Where it is faster for someone with a lot of rebirths to get gems from like gem chests or ghost drops, but it's not obscenely faster. So it doesn't feel as required to go through the process of getting 100 rebirths before you can grind for something like a sandstorm or a dev class, or not a dev class, but mushy or whatever. Just because right now I feel like players do kind of struggle going through that step. Also, I love how we've been in here for like 7 minutes and we've gotten 5 T-bots because like they're all just gonzoed. It would also help if we had like jetpack and we could actually reach like these ghosts, because right now it's kind of just come on. There's just 2 ghosts over there. I can't get over there. Wait, what? Okay, guys, I just realized there's this way to get here without... I thought this was a solid wall! I have never noticed that there's a way to get up here. I just always saw this as a giant wall in an alcove up here. No, that actually is... I never realized that before. It's the same thing in the smaller room. Yeah. Same thing in that small... Wow. It would be super tedious. I'm not doing that. I'm assuming if you have, because I know for a fact there's like 4 or 5 people that are right at around 100 rebirths already. So like I can already account for a top 20 without looking at like too much of the data. So if you don't have more than like 80, I'd imagine no. You're gonna have to have somewhere between 80 to like 90 to actually be top 25. Yeah, no, we are, this quest is definitely taking a decent amount of time. I'm pleasantly surprised on the length of this quest line, even for, and it's not, like, super boring either. Like, there are some times with it, when it is bosses and it is relatively bad, but, like, Dark Thunder did a good job with the quest. Only got a measly 75. Yeah, no, I don't actually think, I think that'd be somewhere around like 34, 35th. Yeah, it's definitely weird, especially with the ghosts that fall out of the area. It's a bit of a struggle. I'm not the one who designed it, so I'm not going to worry about fixing it, but I can definitely see why you don't like it. I think there might just be also less ghosts than in other areas, which definitely contributes to how difficult it is. Fortunately, for most of it, you don't really need too much bonus biome ghosts, so it's not too bad. Definitely, Blue Bunny is the worst quest in terms of how much Wonder House it requires. Yeah, that's the thing though. How often do you see people like maybe not Kurgi and Ellie, but like other people on the leaderboard in like Ghost Simulator? You don't really see how many rebirths they have that often. Not everyone on the leaderboard is a super community-driven person. So the fact that you don't know if there's other people at like 90 or 100 does not mean there aren't any at 90 to 100. It just means that they aren't the people that tend to talk. Also, I think that was just Ghost that was down there. Yeah, it's a cool concept. I definitely think it's definitely a lot better when you know how to navigate it. Like I know I've memorized now which door I need to go into to get to the gem room, because without that it would be super bad. But like if you know like a path to go through it, it does probably get quite a bit better. If you have jetpack, for sure it's a bit better because there are those alcoves up at the top that you can't really access normally. But yeah, it's definitely a different biome. Yeah, no, I agree with that one. I don't think there are, like, that many, surprisingly. Like, once you get up to, like, 10 to 20 rebirths, you're going to have some sort of, presence on the community. Either you're going to have looked on the wiki, or you're going to have, like, checked in on my streams or whatever. You're going to have some presence by the time you get to 10 to 20. But you aren't necessarily going to show how many rebirths you have, or whatnot. It would be interesting. I do know that some people have said, and I think it would be interesting to add at some point in the future, at least showing your own position on the leaderboard, like underneath, like daily leaderboard. Oh yeah, this is your position, this is how much you have. You are 28th. Actually, right now, I think I am like 15th. 13th on the leaderboard. We're going to be just over a trillion on our next refresh, which is kind of funny because I have very little all-time ectoplasm because I did most of my grinding before Remnant Zone was added. Yeah, you could do 10 times of what I have in ectoplasm and still not be on the leaderboard. It's pretty bad. All right. Alright, we need 13 more durians and then we're done. Yeah, after this quest, it's literally the obby, which I am going to talk about because that one's the one interesting one, at least from my perspective. All the obbies are interesting, but that one's a little bit cooler because I have a little bit more personal on that one. But yeah. Who do I think is the most influential person? In Ghost Simulator? I'm assuming, or in Bloxburg in general? Who wasn't a dude? That's obviously, I mean, one of the biggest ones is going to be some of the early influencers, like massive influencers. Like, who's the big one that they, like, Bright or whatever. One of those obviously did a lot for getting people into the game. In terms of continuance, it would probably be the one big YouTuber we had for a while. I believe it. I mean, I'm determining whether to... There is drama connected with him. Technically, I don't think anyone's allowed to bring it up in the regular Discord server with Random Gamer, since there's a lot of drama between him and the devs. I wasn't really on the scene at that time, so I don't know too much of what went on. But there was definitely a falling out. People do not like his name being brought up. I don't know why. I don't really care. All I know is that he was a YouTuber for a long time for Ghost Simulator that made consistent Ghost Sim videos, like every update for like, I don't know, a year or two, until he kind of left. But yeah, influencers that do spread the game like that are definitely a pretty good example. People who contribute, like modelers or like Dark Thunder before he became a dev did pretty much all of the Remnant World or whatever without being a dev. So there's contributors like I think Bunny, I think they do animations for some of the Mega Bosses, I think. Maybe it was someone else. But there's contributors that do a lot that you guys don't see, like making concept arts or models for the game, pets, boards, that probably technically influence quite a bit. But yeah. So either a influencer or a contributor. Obviously, as developers, there's people like Coven K, who did a lot of videos and whatever, and was the community center for a while that would definitely rank pretty highly there. But you said not devs, so we kind of ignore them because of that. JD, obviously, since those were two big YouTubers, but they're also developers. But yeah, Preston, Ninja Wars, who else makes YouTube videos? Travails, yeah. But yeah, Preston made videos for a while for Ghost Sim. I wouldn't say any of those three were super big in terms of actual influence, but just as being influencers, people would recognize them. Other than that, it would be some of the testers. It's hard to say. But like a lot of testers sometimes have very good insight. Like HS, for instance. Admin currently. Jonas. A lot of those players that played a lot had a lot of input into some updates and whatnot. I don't know how much was actually took their input for stuff. But the input they have for like developers updating stuff is there. Yeah, I try not to read chat too much during streams. It's just sometimes weird stuff goes on. I just like to have it closed. Generally not really worth me reading it. Alright, there we go. We are done with Blue Bunny's quest. We'll turn in this last quest, and then we need to do the last little obby, which I said it was a little bit cool. The last obby for... Yes, Lucky Gum and Boosted Lucky Gum work at the same time. Actually, I'll show you. So, Boosted Lucky Gum. You can see here, it actually stacks with other gum. It only stacks additively with the other gum. I'm going to go into explain how I made this drops work, as if it is the only way that drops should work, which is probably true. But yeah, it stacks as plus 200% with other gum. The way this works is basically, so if you don't have any gum, if you use a gum, you expect to go from 1 times multiplier up to a 3 times multiplier with Boosted Lucky Gum. So you gain a plus 2 times multiplier to essence. And then if you're going from, like, let's say using a enchanted Lucky Gum, you're going from a 1 times multiplier, that's your base, up to a 3.25 times multiplier. So you gain 2.25 times multiplier. Yeah, I kind of made this maze, guys. So all of the previous obbies, Dark Thunder made, but you know, I actually made this maze, designed it. He did most of the decorating, so like this fountain, a lot of the shrubbery, that's him. But like the outline of the maze, I made the way that the teleporter would work. I made that. Yeah. So if you guys like the maze, you guys can thank me. If you guys hate the maze, sorry about that. I tried my best. Not really. I've thrown some random blocks on a spot. But yeah, that's the maze. It's pretty cool. But yeah, the way Lucky Gums work. So as I said before, you expect to go from a 1 times multiplier up to your multiplier. So if you use them together, it actually works as a 1 to 3 to 5.25 because you gain that plus 2 plus 2.25. So yes, they do stack together. They do also multiply with double luck. So if you are using boosted Lucky Gum and you also have 2 times luck, you're getting a 6 times multiplier. Because of how it multiplies. But if you're also using boosted Lucky Gum and enchanted Lucky Gum with the 2 times multiplier, it's actually 5.25 from the gum times 2 from the Game Pass for a total of 10.5. Which basically means that it doesn't matter like too much right now. It's midnight for you. Yeah, I am sorry, Deadbull. I know this is not a great time for people who usually show up to my stream since they're all European time zones. I might actually end the stream now. We are done with one quest. I do kind of want to grab Remnant Ruler though first. So yeah, we'll probably complete this quest and then grab Remnant Ruler and then call it a day. That'll probably take us about 15 more minutes. But yeah. So yeah, they do stack together. It is not either 3 times 3.25 for a 9.75 times multiplier if you're using both, which is how some people would think it should work and how it worked previously if you're somehow able to get 2 stacked at a time. Also, I made that entire animation, so if you guys like those little animations for the key going in, you're welcome. If you don't like it, I'm sorry, I tried my best. Oh, the way the Lucky Weekend worked was actually adds with gum. I was meaning to make it completely additive, so like the 10% luck, where this 10% luck is only 10% no matter what. It won't multiply with anything. But it actually, I messed up the grouping, so it actually added on top of gum. So instead of being like 5.25 times with gum max, it was 6.25, which basically means that it doesn't actually matter if you use gum during the double luck weekend or not, because you are gaining the same amount of classifieds per hour regardless of when you use the gum. Like, imagine if you aren't using any gum during the double luck weekend, and you get 2 per hour. If you use gum, you'll gain another 2 per hour and get 4. But let's say it's not during a double luck weekend, then it'll take, you'll get 1 per hour normally, and then if you use a gum, you'll get 3 per hour normally. You're still getting 2 classifieds per hour by using the gum. It's just whether or not you're getting that additional 1 from grinding during a double luck weekend. It does also take less gems, which is something to take into account. But I think that's negligible in terms of how it actually works. Also, I'm just grabbing this because I was here. This is just all lore, so we're spamming through it as fast as we can. But what I'm trying to say is, it doesn't actually matter if you like use gum together or separately. You'll still gain the same amount of classifieds as long as you have the gems for it. As long as you have the gemstone box, it will, which generally, when people are unboxing, they generally do. But yeah, it doesn't actually matter if you use the gum together or separate or whatnot, just because of how it stacks additively with each other. Alright, let's go set our setting to be the crypt. And then we'll start grinding. But yeah, this should take us a couple... It shouldn't actually take us too long to go ahead and do. We'll be mainly grinding here, but we might also grab a boss or two occasionally. But yeah, making use of those events is important. Yeah, part of it is because of the lag right now. Oh, and also probably starting in Crypt. I don't know. I like Crypt. Alright, I give up. We're swapping over to here. I cannot deal with the lag. Yeah, part of it's also because there's people over here. But yeah, no, you get to all watch me grind pretty efficiently. Fortunately, it doesn't matter too much since we are getting enough per minute that it shouldn't take too long, but yeah. It would help if we had jetpack a little bit. Not as much as I probably would have been thinking, but yeah. Right now, I am grinding for Remnant Ruler. This is the most expensive Remnant cost board in the unlockable section. It's 10 billion Remnant coins. We're already at 6 billion, almost. So it shouldn't take too long to go ahead and get the last 4 billion. Probably another 30 minutes or so. But yeah. Yeah, it's kind of interesting how many people see me in game and are like, "Oh, hello," and it's like, yeah, hello. I don't really say hi to people, and I'm sorry. I don't know. Sometimes. Oh shoot! I forgot to use scum. What are my display pets? My display pets are purples, all of them, except for Dutchman because I equipped something else. But yeah, they're all purples. Various kinds, but yeah, they're the coolest pet in the game, so that's why I have them equipped. Honestly, we need one more purple pet so I can actually equip all 6 of my pet slots with it, at least maybe another 20 more could be cool too, but yeah, I don't know. For whatever reason, there wasn't one this Easter, which was kind of sad. I'll need to talk about making sure more purples are included in events, but I'm not the one designing pets, so I can't, you know, add a billion. I actually could. They would all be exact copies though, because I don't know how to model at all. Hysteria. I mean, it is purple color, but it's not a purple. If you're getting up to antenna level 30, I would recommend grabbing some quests along the way, like Jack's quest from, right inside the, okay, I give up, we're not. Right inside the Great Guardian, or Remnant Guardian, boss fight area, will give you a permanent magnet, which you should get before your rebirth. I'd also recommend grabbing other quests too, like, Blue Bunny if you don't have it already. There's a lot of permanent quests in Remnant Zone that will help you rebirth faster. And since your entire level 30 will reset when you rebirth, there's really no reason to grind up until level 30 and then rebirth. It's better to either chill at until level 20 for your rebirth, or grind up to until level 30 and then actually do stuff like grabbing some permanent quests, or grinding for mythicals, or something like that, instead of wasting a lot of it. Yeah, I mean, purple's just like, honestly, it's just the best color. I have no idea why anyone would have any other favorite color other than purple as their favorite color. That being said, I mean, there's probably some selection bias based on the fact that the Ghost Sim logo is purple, and people are probably more likely to like a game that has their favorite color in the logo of it. I mean, I'm not a psychiatrist or sociologist or someone that studies people's like habits or anything like that. But I think it's fairly safe to say there's probably some selection bias or other bias going on there that would influence people liking purple in Ghost Sim, but yeah. Yeah, no, good idea. Planning on getting some of the permanent stuff. There's a lot of cool stuff that will help you with reverse, especially if you get maxed out. If you want to do a little bit of gum grinding from either Backdoor or Remnant World, doing that before your rebirth will also help. I know a lot of people have so much spare like loot gum that you can generally get some stuff for free, Getting some yourself and then learning how to do the gum grinding can also help quite a bit. Especially since you get a lot of random stuff like bunny gum, boss gum, occasionally lucky gum, which will also be helpful in other places. It's helpful to do your own loot gum grinding. Talking about that, I probably should make a video on how to do more gum grinding, because it's been a while. It's been a hot minute since there's been a good route for that. Posted publicly, because generally speaking, the route that everyone uses is just kind of it's kind of like you ask an endgame player and they explain it and then you use that, because there's no real video or guide for that anymore. Also, I never really... recently, I just realized how close this castle courtyard is to the crypt. I always thought they were so much further apart, so I didn't realize you could just jump from one to the other. Yeah, no, I've said it easier before on the stream, but like loot gum, and actually a lot of gums, pretty much everything other than boss gum and lucky gum in some instances. There is someone with way too much of it. And even boss gum and lucky gum, we've gotten to the point where there are people that have more than 1,000 of those gums and just don't care to use them because it's time consuming. And that's an issue. I think there should be a sync for them. And I'm working on it. I'm not actually working on it. I'm thinking about it. But yeah, no, there should be more syncs to those so that people can actually use them effectively. But yeah. Wormhole actually isn't super valuable. It's definitely more valuable than dev heads. Dev heads are, oof. I think on this account, you can probably pretty easily see why. No, actually, I only have one dev head on this account. But yeah, no, dev heads are super easy to get. You're going for, a lot of people go, or maybe not a lot of people, but anyone who goes for a developer classified just ends up getting hundreds of them extra, and so they just end up lying around. Like, I have given away probably easily 40 to 50 dev heads, so they're not super valuable. The thing is, Wormhole isn't super valuable either. I don't have one myself, but that's just because I haven't opened my Jolly Roger loot bags. Like, realistically, I probably have one worth in loot bags, but yeah. But yeah, no, the thing about dev heads though is they can be useful for stats, so if you're using it for stats, go for it. Like, once you get past a pet in stats, you kind of forget that it is still useful to some people. Yeah, Lucky Cats and other Rebirth Mythicals are pretty good too. I don't think I'm reaching that. Alright. 3/4 of the way there, we probably need to sell, what, like 4 more times? 5 more, 6, 7 more times? 8 more times? We need to sell a few more times, and then we'll be good to go on actually getting this remnant ruler. I think I actually, the funny thing is, I think this is somewhere around 20 at one point. There's 2 different, I know one stream just really popped off for whatever reason, like, just normal people, just because there's something interesting. Then there was this one time when I did 2 streams, like, back to back, like, one day and then the next day, on the Rebirth. They had, like, the same thumbnail or whatever. And for whatever reason, the YouTube algorithm, the second day I streamed, decided that the first video should get a, like, 3,000 views or whatever. And so in the live stream, all of a sudden, I just had a spike of, like, 20 new people, in, like, 5 minutes or whatever. Which was just really weird. It was like, YouTube algorithm, what are you doing? This is cool, but this is a live stream. Why are you promoting a live stream as a video? But yeah, no, there's other times where I've gotten like a consistent 20 player viewers where it is actually 20 Ghost Sim people who are watching or whatever, but yeah. By the way, can you just use XCOM to do it quicker? I'm using XCOM. That's what I have equipped in my hotbar. I'm only using glitchy XCOM because I have a bajillion of it. I could upgrade to use enchanted XCOM, but I don't feel like it. Yeah, YouTube algorithm is something else when it comes to viewers. Like, it's so random sometimes what it decides to do. Like sometimes it. Like, sometimes you upload a video and it gets the normal amount of views. Sometimes it just gets nothing and you're like, YouTube algorithm, ding donk. Recommend my video somewhere. Someone wants to watch it. I know sometimes with my live streams, I get people like, hey, YouTube didn't even show me a notification for it. It's like, okay, YouTube, you're just shooting yourself and me in the foot by not recommending this. They want to watch it. But yeah, no, other times though, it's like, oh yeah, for whatever reason it decides that, everyone that plays Roblox now all of a sudden wants to watch your video. And yeah, it's so weird. Right now I am still grinding for, Remnant Ruler. We are 80% of the way there. So yeah. But yeah, no, it's just so weird when you have an algorithm deciding it. It's happened to me before. I just did. Yeah, I mean, you never know why YouTube does what it does. No, it's whatever. I mean, obviously I don't think it's as easy as some people would say when it comes to actually doing it. I think they're doing actually a decent job at recommending the content. But it feels like maybe there might be a bit too much variety on what it feels like day to day on it. Alright, we need about 6 more cells, 7 more cells, till we get this, so about, what is that, like 8 more minutes or so? Because we do about two cells every 3 minutes. Also, between last episode and this episode, I've been doing a little bit of programming on Ghost Simulator, so, I pretty much got the biggest feature for next update done with already, which is really nice because I am going to actually be busy this weekend, which is why next stream on Monday for hard mode is actually going to be moved to Tuesday instead of Monday, which is... I hate doing that. I hate how regularly it happens where it's like, oh, I have to delay that stream. Because I'm getting home like 4 a.m. on Monday. And so I'm probably going to just crash and be asleep until like 2. And by that point, it's just too late to actually do a consistent stream. So just moving that one to Tuesday. But yeah, also next Monday is a holiday for the US. I think it's Memorial Day, so I'm fairly sure it's Memorial Day, but I don't have my holidays memorized. Oh, it's bad because like in some respects Memorial Day is one of those holidays that you should probably actually care about. It is a serious holiday in some respects. I mean, as serious as any holiday can be, but yeah, so I'm pretty much completely out of... Oh, why did I use a gum? Pretty much completely out of Ghost Simulator and Discord or whatever throughout the, like, Friday to Monday. So, yeah, no, it's going to be a nice break. I'm going to enjoy it. But if you guys need to talk to me, I'm just gone. Memorial Day. Yay! I remembered a holiday! Yikes. I am so bad when it comes to dates. Fortunately, I don't need to remember birthdays online because no one shares their birthdays, and it's not regular that people share their birthdays, or that you care about people's birthdays. When it came to real life, people were like, oh yeah, my birthday's on this day, and I'm like, oh cool. And they're like, when's your birthday? I'm like, oh yeah, this is my birthday. And they're like, when my birthday comes around, they're like, happy birthday, and I'm like, oh, you're actually memorizing my birthday? I'm sorry, I don't have yours memorized. But yeah. Oh, I'm going to forget. I guarantee you, I am going to forget. Unless I put it down on my calendar, which I'm not going to. I don't believe in calendars. I probably should, but I don't. Which is probably due to the how my what my work is, working as a Roblox developer. But yeah, no, calendars are non-existent. Why would I put anything on a calendar? Oh, so yours is in like a week. Nice. Early birthday today. I've got the shark bag, Pat. Which one should I save for? What is that one? That's like the 5th or so. The thing with Remnant Zone, it doesn't actually matter too much upgrading your packs and vacs. It's a lot less, like Vacuums is completely broken. Like, I have the minimum possible stats for my progression on my alt account. I never struggled with vacuuming ghosts, whereas I struggled a lot with vacuuming ghosts in, like, Backdoor. Yeah, vacuums are worthless. packs are a little bit more worthwhile. I don't think there's any like specific right answer. It's just whatever you feel like, to be honest. There's not that much difference between them, and you're not skipping them is a good idea, but like at the end of the day, having one pack versus another is not going to make a difference unless you're specifically grinding remnant coins for like hours at a time for stuff, which most people aren't. Oh yeah, no, when your birthday is the same as someone else's, you definitely remember them a lot easier. My brother and my cousin share a birthday, and that is the only cousin's birthday I remember, because it's the same as my brother's, because I remember. Which, yeah, it definitely makes it a lot easier when it's like, oh yeah, those two share a birthday. It also makes it easier to remember that day in general if it's someone else's, because it makes it more notable, like there's some memory tactics where it's like just associate it with something, anything, and it'll make it easier to remember. So just remembering that two people have the same birthday literally makes it easier to remember what day their birthday is on, because it is more memorable to be like to that moment or whatever, or that memory, like regardless of like, you know, if I told you one person's birthday is on this date and I told you two people's birthdays were on this date, even though it's just one date or the other date, you're going to remember the one for the two people way better, just because it's a lot more unique and feels more special, even if it is just one date versus another date. Why does everyone have I feel like everyone in the chat is like, oh yeah, my birthday is next week. Oh yeah, my birthday is next month. Just super early, which is kind of funny, but nice. It's a 6-pack? Yeah. I would say generally skip a pack. Skip as many as you're comfortable saving up for. Sometimes like on my alt, I know I'm not saving up for any pack anymore because like it is just going to take forever to buy them. But yeah, just skip a pack if you can't really get the currency for it. And you'll be able to, or skip a pack unless you can't really save a currency for the one afterwards. Sharing your birth month, yeah, that's a same day, same birth month. Anything similar like that will help you remember. It's so weird how memory works with stuff. But yeah, we're almost there. We basically have to use one more X-Gum and sell twice, and then we will have Remnant Ruler. We still will not have Bitwing, which I was planning on doing today. I went into today thinking I'd have plenty of time to do the entire quest, grab Remnant Ruler, grab Bitwing, and then also still have time to go grind for a classified or grind mega bosses a few times. I didn't realize how long this quest was going to take. It was an interesting quest, but it took a bit longer than I was expecting. Oh yeah, no, my birthday is located pretty close to Christmas. I never have an issue with this because I would say my parents are a little bit like more planned out than other parents are in terms of, oh yeah, let's remember people's birthdays and get people stuff for their birthdays, despite it being like not necessarily the day after Christmas or whatever, but near to Christmas. But yeah, it definitely helps me in the summer. Another thing about the summer is generally that's like people are in a happier mood, and people in a happier mood spend more. So in some respects, that's good for getting better presents. I mean, it also helps in the US tax day is like February, May-ish. I don't know exactly when, I don't do taxes. Not yet. No, I do taxes. It's just not much of taxes. All of my taxes so far have been income from bank stuff that my parents have set up, so it's fairly easy. Next year, I'm going to have to do taxes for what I've earned from developing on GoSim, because that is way above where you need to pay taxes for. But yeah, no, but tax season being in like February, May, March, definitely makes people before then not want to spend money, because they realize, oh, this is going to cost a lot of money. I don't want to spend too much money before this or whatever. So you're telling me that there's someone in the chat that's May 23rd, May 24th, and May 27th. Do you guys see how ridiculous that is? That's 3 birthdays out of what, like 8 people that is within a week? That's just ridiculous. Yeah, sometimes parents either forget it or they realize doesn't matter as much, or yeah. Hopefully you get a bike if you want a bike, but yeah. No, that's a pretty insane. Unless I'm getting May and March mixed up, which I've been known to do. But I'm fairly sure this month is May. Yeah, no, there are definitely people that know how to do taxes. I'm actually, I could do taxes for myself if I wanted to, but I think, I say this, I haven't done it. I always use TurboTax because that's what my parents use. I think going forward, US is actually rolling out a system for not automatic taxes, but easier tax forms by like, they just ship you something and you have to be like, yep, that's how much I'm paying in taxes. And you'll just like automatically pay it or whatever. Which is going to be helpful for a lot of people because the tax system in the US is something else. Alright, this should be enough ghosts to go ahead and click sell. And yep, there we go. Alright, now we can go ahead and buy Remnant Ruler. This is actually a pretty cool board. Dark Thunder made it. I mean, pretty much, I think Dark Thunder made it. I'm fairly sure on that one. I will say don't quote me on that because I never really know who models what. Sometimes this stuff is made by some contributors. But yeah, it's a pretty cool board. Definitely helps that it's purple. It's actually shaped in the shape of the Remnant currency. You can see the top little thing, bottom little stuff, and the nice swirls around it. I don't think it's actually as noticeable as it probably feels like it should be. But yeah, you also get a little crushed. Like if you look at your feet are a little bit close together. But yeah, that is it for today. We actually, I mean, now that I have this perk, it does make grinding quite a bit better. We will lock this. Especially now that it has the hotkey, it does feel so much better. I don't know why I added it without the hotkey to begin with. That was just a complete oversight on my part. Looks like, yeah, there's actually a lot of boards that do. I know which one you're talking about. You're talking about this one. I think. Yeah, Starlight. This one. Which is a lot bigger and a lot less going on. Actually, wait. No, don't disappear. Oh, this is actually cool. This is this camera angle should not exist. Completely unable to see anything. But yeah, it also looks like Fury Flight. There's also a few other boards that have the similar aesthetic. I think, actually, I don't know if I have that egg one. I don't think I do, which is unfortunate. I could probably give it to myself really quick. But yeah, that'll be it for today's stream. I plan on maybe I'll do more of these streams regularly where I do random off days. Maybe I'll make it regular on a Monday to do an off stream on this like 1 to 5 p.m. stretch, just to have a different time zone for those people that can watch in like the US. But yeah, for today, I think that's good enough. I know, I really need to catch up on this account with quite a bit of stuff. I want to do some more rebirths. I need to grind up some pets at some point for better pet stats, because right now I am kind of behind. I have 2 sandstorms. I can probably pretty easily get up to like 6 mushies within like, you know, like 10 hours of grinding or something. So I kind of should do that at some point. But yeah, no, it's actually 2 times D-pad down. That's why there's 2 things right next to it. So if you press D-pad down twice, you'll teleport to your menu, and then if you press it once, you'll teleport to cell. There's actually, I've coded it in and I've tested it. I know it works. So yeah, I don't think that's actually an issue. I do know that it's a little bit hard to find where to get to the options for it. You do actually need to open up this menu and click on this button, which is a bit annoying to get to on mobile, but we ignore that. It is possible to get to. You can select it from here, and then you can sort of select anything. You can go into, yeah, I think you can do this in Remnant Zone. I'm not 100% sure. I'm fairly sure, though. But yeah. That makes sense. It looks like, yeah, right now it's a visual bug. I actually extended, or did I fix that? I think I may have fixed that. Yeah, I don't know. It's supposed to be 2. I realize it might be I think most people understood it, but I do understand if you don't understand it. They do overlap a little weirdly. But anyways, let me go back to my outro now that I've cleared up that one. I will see you guys probably next Tuesday for a hard mode stream, so basically a whole another week, unless I get on a Rift Gun video in the next day, which is unlikely. But anyways, bottom right, this is an auto unbox. I have it disabled right now because it's a pain. Yeah, it's I just have it has an excerpt for being disabled. You can disable any of your perks. Actually, except for Photon Blaster for whatever reason. Bottom right, this is Master Hunter. This is the Rebirth perk. I added it because it is something that people might want to disable, just in case they don't want streams. Also, wait, is it specifically this position? I know someone... Let me check something really quick. Actually, I should end the stream and then check something really quick. I will see you guys on Tuesday. Thank you guys for coming out. I do plan on doing some more grinding on my account, so if you guys like that, leave a like on the video. Let me know. Anyways, bye. I'll see you for real this time later.